Welcome to another episode of Teen Scene. I'm your host, Alian.
And I'm Alian.
And we have a lot to talk about today. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this show. We'll be right back.
People to get involved. You know, we have Election Day is just around the corner, June 24th. So please contact us, get involved, and I'd love your vote on June 24th.
This is Brooke Learman. I'm running for state delegate in District 46. I'm running because I love Baltimore City. I live in Fells Point with my husband and son. As a parent, I share the aspirations of other parents that they have for their children, that the school that they send their kids to will be the best available, and the neighborhood that they live in will be safe and clean and green.
Carolina.
Well, actually, I was born in North Carolina, but I never really lived there. So I went to college. I'm a military brat. My dad was in the Air Force for almost 30 years. I lived all over the place, including here in our great state of Maryland. But I went to almost 14 schools, I think, when I was growing up. So every region of the country, you know, so many different states. I think by the time I'd gone to college, I had actually spent the night in every single state of the union.
Okay.
I have been an advocate for people all of my life, starting from being a PTA president for 2 different public schools, all the way to organizing and forming a brand new union, representing 8,000 city employees, over 500 different classifications, and that ranged from people with no skills all the way up to people with doctorate degrees.
Go after funding and money and things to help get people in drug treatment and in other issues. And so when I hear the problems coming and people talk about opiates and heroin addiction and cocaine addiction and all of that, for 50 years or more it's been going on in Baltimore City. We never said anything, we never did anything. We let them die. But now that it has spread into the larger community, now we have more bills on opiate than you can ever imagine. So,
welcome back. I'm Alian Scarlett. We're back on Teen Scene, and we're going to start with politics. So, first thing we want to talk about is how to vote.
Yes.
Things that you need to know are definitely that you need to know that you're eligible if you're going to vote. You know, you have to be 18, you can't have 12-year-olds voting. You need to make sure that you also know where your polling office is, because you can't just go anywhere and vote. You need to make sure you look that stuff up. Sometimes you can vote online, but you need to be aware and make sure you know who your candidates are, who you're voting for. These are just important things to know. And one thing that we both want you to know is that everybody should vote. Everybody should vote. Definitely don't wait until the die is cast and the election is over and then you start complaining about the candidates and who got elected when you have your free will and your freedom to be able to choose who gets elected. This is a part of one of your rights. You should use it.
Well, you know, Alian, it's a lot of women out here that's running today. That's a lot.
Well, you're right, that's true. Statistics have shown that numbers are going up in the amount of women deciding to use their rights to vote, and they're definitely making an impact, because one vote could make the difference between who gets elected. So I agree with that.
Yes, and also let me tell you more about that, about all these women that are running more in society now. So let me share something with you. In the community that you know, that you don't even think about, trying to make a difference, not only in Annapolis, but making a difference in Baltimore. And See what happened in the past, the money goes to general fund because it goes as a result of the casino gambling, which we needed a constitutional amendment to actually have casino gambling in the state of Maryland. So because it was, and because this is the funds for it, we thought it was best for the constituencies to make a determination, and we locked the money out and designated it specifically for education and educational purposes alone.
Wow, that was very interesting. Women definitely have a lot to contribute, that's for sure.
Very empowering.
It was.
Well, I'm so glad you enjoyed that, Alian. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Our time. But, you know, we didn't let that stop us. We started initially giving out money from our own pocket, $1,000 to students starting in the 4th grade for superior academic performance and demonstration of humanitarian qualities. They had to show they cared about other people, too. Because we didn't want people who were just smart. You know, Kenneth Ray is smart. No, he's not smart. Hitler was smart, but they didn't do good things. So you need to be smart and caring. And they get $1,000. It goes to a trust fund that's developed by our financial people. They get a statement each year in terms of how much it's worth. The school gets a trophy. Every bit is impressive. It's any sports trophy you've ever seen anywhere. They get a medal to wear. They go to a banquet. They get local press attention. And they begin to believe that they're world beaters. It's amazing some of the things that they've gone on to do. But more importantly, the other students can see them as being cool rather than as being nerds and geeks. You know, you give a 4th grader or a 5th grader a $1,000 scholarship and they are cool all of a sudden. And, you know, we find so many of the other students who are now trying. And we now have over 1,400 scholars in 9 states, and we're moving into a few more states this year. And it's my hope that by the time I die, we'll be in every school system in the country, and that every 4th and 5th grader in the United States will realize that they can get just as much recognition from academic performance and humanitarian qualities as they can from shooting a basketball. And that's the kind of thing that will begin to change our nation, starting at the grassroots, starting with the young people, creating new ideals. And we do need volunteers. Anybody wants to volunteer? PresidentScholars.org. We need you. But, you know, you would have thought that having turned things around academically and understanding academics, life was going to be wonderful.
Welcome back. My name is Alian Scarlett, and this is my co-host,
Kia Allen.
And we have a lot to talk about. This is definitely something that you want to listen to, because social media, almost everybody has it, basically.
Everybody.
Especially if you're a teenager. So social media is an important part of today, modern, however you want to talk about it. Everybody has Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, LinkedIn. Everybody's connected. So when you see Donald Trump on Twitter posting negative information, things that aren't helpful, things that show his true personality and his true character, it makes you wonder, is this really the guy that's supposed to be leading us into the future? It's terrible to see. I don't think we've ever had a leader in history that was like this. I mean, you look at past presidents, and you have presidents that say, I can never tell a lie. And they're built on these principles that show good character. But Trump, he's just unapologetically rude to certain candidates and people. He called a veteran a fool for dying for his unit and for his country. There's some lines that you don't cross. And
Totally agree with you, Alian. This is why you have to go vote.
Yes.
Have to go vote.
Yes.
Do your research before you even go out and just vote anything, you know. Do your research.
Make sure you know who you're voting for. You're a part of this country. You're a fundamental part of this country, and your vote matters. It makes a difference. We chose this. This didn't happen out of nowhere. You know, him becoming president, he definitely didn't fall out of the sky into office. Okay, we chose this. So next time, we need to do better, people. We gotta vote better. We gotta do our research. Know what we're doing. We can change the world. We can change at least our country. It's the least we can do for the people around us, because we care about this country. We do.
If you are worried about your votes from past experience, well, stop. Stop being afraid. I want to show you this clip.
And again, There are just a variety of ways for you to engage, whether it's joining in a local organization in your community who's focusing on these issues. There's a lot of advocates in this room right now in our community, and we need to be engaging them. And so getting active in your local league is really one of the great ways that you can also engage moving forward beyond Election Day, because there are going to be problems, and we are going to be working to address them for the next cycle as well. And with that, I think I will turn it over to Allegra, who will actually dive a little bit more into the actual election laws.
Thanks, Jeanette. Yeah, so thanks for having me here. I've been at Common Cause for 4 years now, and Common Cause has been around for nearly 50 years, where we've got members and supporters across the country, upwards of 1 million supporters now, and we've got 35 state chapters. And our aim is to hold power accountable. And I think a lot of people in this room, a lot of organizations who are working in this field right now would say, never has there been a more important time, at least in the past century, than it is now to hold power accountable. So we do that. We work on voting in elections, campaign finance reform, working against gerrymandering issues. And when it comes to this election, it really behooves all of us who work in this space to be vigilant both before, during, and after. Elections, obviously are not a once every couple years event. In order to have a smooth election, in order to ensure that people who are eligible are showing up, voting, and then actually having those ballots counted, we need to do the work ahead of time. We need to do the work on Election Day, and then once we see what the patterns and practices are, we need to learn from that election to determine what do we need to do next. What are the reforms that we need to put into place? It's pretty sad these days, right? And actually has been for a while, because even on a good day during an historic election in 2016, we barely budged 60% turnout, eligible turnout. When you look at 32 other well-established democracies across the world, we come in 26th place. It's pretty pitiful, and there are a few reasons for this. One, it's the culture is stacked against the voter, and has been in this country for some time now. So whereas in other democracies, there's the government will take it upon itself to ensure that all eligible citizens are registered, in some instances even requiring eligible voters to show up and vote. In this country, we put up the obstacle course. We try to make it so that the voter has to prove him or herself in order to participate in a democracy that affects us all. So in the first place, we're kind of working against this culture, and trying to do whatever we can do, again, through reform, through education, through litigation when necessary, to ensure that individuals, eligible citizens, know that they have the right to register and vote.
Wow, was that informative, Alian?
Very much. You got a lot of information there.
Yes.
We're going to go to the break, and we're going to take a break.
My name is Elia Aronoff-Spencer. I'm the team leader of the Distributed Health Labs at UC San Diego here in the United States, California. So in 2006, I showed up to a small hospital in South Africa on the border of Mozambique. And I showed up, and instead of giving me a stethoscope, they gave me a cell phone. And it had the phone numbers of all the people on there like me. And in the middle of the night, when you're the doctor in the hospital and you really don't know anything, you don't know what you're doing, you could call John, gynecologist, and say, listen, a woman has come in and she's sick and I have no idea what to do. And they would just give you what they had. It was the best information they could give you. And you start to see healthcare as an information finding problem and then an action problem. They have about $48 a year to spend per patient on healthcare. And for instance, the WHO recommends in a country like that that you test people for HIV at least once a year. The end-to-end cost of an HIV test, the cheap one, is about $24. So you would spend half of your money just testing the patients. So it's not realistic at all. And so it is those two circumstances, my experience there and basically the need space there, which is make stuff that works, that we really can afford, that our team is built around. And our lab, the Distributed Health Labs, we're trying to make a product or a technology that really enables people, end users, patients, where they are, to take care of themselves, to know more about their health, to have actionable information that makes their lives better. The biggest first hurdle was having anybody in our circle believe that this is possible. And I think the big one is that we maybe don't have the same financial trajectory as some of the other teams, and it changes your ability to deliver. We know that, but it also changes your incentives and therefore the product you build. There's the hurdle of building this for the prize versus building it for what goes on after, before, and through the prize, which is our own lab. The core technologies we have are open source and public. That's not great for a competition. And we haven't released or really even fully settled on what the tricorder Qualcomm entrant will look like, but we know what we call our global tricorder, which is our stack. We know what that looks like, and we're going to have to reconcile those two. But I think in the end, there's pretty much zero losers here. I think everybody who showed up today kind of already won. I mean, this is you got to the Olympics, it's not a who won, you know.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Alian Scarlett.
And I'm Kia Allen. So, Alian, do you have any political aspirations?
Political aspirations. That's a loaded question, because for me, you know, I see a lot of people, Kanye West running for president in 2020, Dwayne Johnson running for president in 2020, yes. Drake in the YouTube video, God's Plan, said he was gonna, you know, run for president in 2020. I think after Donald Trump, anybody could be president. So, you know, I feel like if I ran, I'll probably be president. I think I do a good job too.
I think we're all waiting for Michelle Obama.
Yeah?
We're all waiting for it. We're waiting for it. It's coming though. It's coming.
Well, that was a great show. I'm glad you guys stuck around for it. We have another great show coming up. Guys, don't want to miss this one. We'll be right back.
Just run as a woman, but run as a qualified woman, so that when you have the chance to make key decisions and be part of the discussion, that you've done your homework and that you are able to do it forthrightly. And then also, I was just having a mentor. I hope that I'm a mentor for other young women.
Into women who are seeking legislative office or are serving as current legislators. Today, I am excited to be joined by Lenora Dawson and Debbie Ritchie, and both of them are seeking political office. Debbie?
I'm Debbie Ritchie. I'm running for the County Council in District 3 in Anne Arundel County, which encompasses most of Pasadena. I decided to run for County Council. In preparation for that, I attended Emerge. I was fortunate enough to get into the Emerge class, which is a program that trains Democratic women.
Yes. My name is Lenora Dawson. I am running for Clerk of Court, Baltimore City. I am a native Baltimorean, born and raised. I earned my bachelor's degree from Morgan State University and my master's degree from the University of Baltimore. I am currently an administrator. I've been an administrator in city government for 10 years.
Is Jules Dunn and Howie.
Good morning, everyone. We're so happy that you've joined us, and we have an esteemed panel for today's conversation. Let them introduce themselves.
Good morning. My name is Nicole Drew. I am the first Vice President for the Montgomery County Commission for Women. I'm also an attorney employed by the federal government and happy to serve you.
Good morning. I'm Ann Coltlitis. I am the Division Chief for the Special Victims Unit for the City of Baltimore State's Attorney's Office, and I'm a candidate for Anne Arundel County State's Attorney.
Hi, I'm Barbara Robinson, Senator Barbara Robinson. I was in the House of Delegates for 10 years. I've been a state senator for 2 years, and I'm running for re-election representing the 40th Legislative District in Baltimore City.
Hi, my name is Pam Booby, and I'm an attorney and businesswoman in Anne Arundel County. I'm also the former chair of the Anne Arundel County Commission for Women, and I'm running for delegate in District 33.
A place at the table is equal pay for women. And I understand there was a barrage of commentary from Monique about her experience with Netflix. And I understand you, Jewel, have done some research on that. Can you tell us a little bit about it, and maybe the other ladies can discuss it with you?
We have a great topic and a great panelist of ladies. Victoria, why don't you go ahead and start us off? Well, absolutely. Well, I'd love to meet each of you personally, so please introduce yourselves for us and our wonderful audience.
Hi, my name is Lola White, and I'm happy to be here today.
Yes, I'm Treya Betrell. I'm an upcoming actress in the Washington, D.C. area.
Hello, my name is Kendra Wilson. I'm a firefighter and I'm a paramedic.
So we see every day in the news there's something new. So St. Mary's County, Santa Fe, Parkland shootings. Do any of you have kids? Do you feel like your kids are safe in their schools? And what can we do to make our communities safer?
Where women have a voice and opinions and share about different issues that may be going on with women. I'm your moderator, Shantae.
And I'm your co-moderator, Victory, and we have an exciting group of women with us today.
Hello, and welcome to A Place at the Table. My name is Jules Dunham Howie, and I serve as host for this wonderful show. I am the CEO of Jewel Enterprise, a development consultancy firm out of Baltimore, Maryland, and the president of the Maryland Black Caucus Foundation.
Welcome back to Teen Scene. Coming back from the break, I'm Alian Scarlett.
And I'm Kia Allen.
And we're about to keep talking about politics. We're gonna wrap this up. Have you talked to your parents about voting?
Actually, I haven't, but that is such a great topic to get on. How children now should actually go to their parents and ask them, Mom, Dad, did you vote? That's a very important subject. And also how in schools, I feel like government should be a subject that all kids should be required to take in school. Because, you know, it talks about how to vote, everything about politics, what's going on in the government and society now and in the world. So I just feel like it's a very important subject that every kid should take in high school.
That's true. Actually, I'm gonna add on that because I know someone that saw their options for candidates and for who to vote for, didn't like either of them, decided not to vote, and then when Donald Trump got elected, just complained and complained and complained. Right. And so this is back on our point. You have to vote. You have to choose. Yes. You have a right to vote. You should really use it. And then when the die is cast, at least you played your part. At least you did what you could.
Totally agree. And I feel as though men, let's lay down the pride a little bit. I feel like a woman in office is just as equal as a man in office. We have the same mindset. I feel like anybody can learn the same thing. You just got to put your mind to it. Anybody can do anything. So I feel like a woman in office is just as much, doing better as a man in office.
That's true. I agree. I don't like how some people talk about a woman's brain like it's smaller than a man's brain. Like, there are plenty of women smarter than men. We just all need to come together and figure out what we're doing, work together, and then we can fix a lot of problems.
Right. We all equal, man and woman. We just two different genders, but we have everybody's mindset can be the same. Just gotta, if you put your mind to something, and that's with anything you want to do in life, go out and do it. Learn it. There's no one smarter than this person. No, if I want to be a doctor today or tomorrow, if I want to learn how to do that, I gotta go do it.
Right.
Just as much as the next person. So women, get out there and vote. We'll be right back.
3 most significant civil rights acts. So people felt that the battle had been won. But we all know that first laws passed doesn't mean guaranteed opportunity. And then what we now know was that when a young woman named Bernice Sandler from my own home state of Maryland, then a doctoral student at the University of Maryland, was denied a faculty position at the school, they said, hey, you come on too strong for a woman. We don't know if you're going to quite fit in. Gee, we don't know about you. She was mesmerized. This led her to go to work with the charismatic and talented Congresswoman Patsy Mink. Patsy Mink took hold of these issues and began an early draft of Title IX, having Dr. Sandler at her side.
That place was the passage of Title IX. Thank you, Senator Byer, for your House and in the Senate, and on the House, just speaking of the House, and I just spoke to some of the Republican women on my way over here. We all send you our very best regards and many good wishes for much future success. As I always say when it comes to women, more power to us. Thank you all. My great pleasure to welcome and introduce Michelle Kwan. I heard this. To introduce someone that I've looked up to for many years, Dr. Condoleezza Rice.
be in this wonderful space. I obviously am very honored to be with you on this momentous occasion celebrating the 40th anniversary of Title IX. I'd like to thank my good friend Bev Ryder and the Women's Hall of Fame, the National Women's Hall of Fame for this event.
Thank the board members, staff, and volunteers who have kept the mission of the Hall alive by bringing to life the stories of groundbreaking women. I also want to thank one of my predecessors, Dr. Condoleezza Rice, a pioneer in her own right and a champion for women's progress.
2 years and then to 5 years. And finally have realized that we are part of a very, very long movement and revolution in social history, because we are really changing the very basis of human relations. And that does take a bit longer than ending discrimination. Thank you all very, very much.
Well, we had a great time today. We'll see you next time on Teen Scene. So we'll see you next time.
So my belief is if we can scale technologies like our gene radar affordably on a large scale and decentralize, mobilize, and personalize it, we have the ability in our lifetime to give those 4 billion people access to healthcare like they've never had before.
It's the Hall of Fame. It's the Hall of Fame. It's the Hall of Fame.